You think they had an all-time great defense this year?
Who, the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah. That's the question I want to ask you and Mars. Do y'all think the T-Wolves this season, Mars, with the T-Wolves team, do you think that's an all-time great defense that you can stack against those Pistons teams with Ben Wallace, the Spurs teams with Tim Duncan, and those other all-time great defensive teams?
Don't get me wrong, Ticket. I'm not going to argue that Mike Malone doesn't have any blame in this, because sure he does. I'm not listening to him tell me about, and I just said this I'm sure you heard me say this yesterday, about him saying that, it's a lot harder when you're the champs. Well, so you're the champs. That's part of it. Number two, you talking about your rotation guys. You knew that you had a bad rotation. So it wasn't like you automatically just found these guys and was like, damn, I ain't really got a lot of guys to go with.
But he didn't use that rotation, Phil.
You knew that.
Hold on. Fellas, we got to move on, though. I got some good stuff for us to get into. We got to move on.
My bad. I'm about to say, Peyton, he didn't use the other boy.
Christopher D said, I had a super chat just for you and Jalen yesterday. Never even put Jamal and Penny Hardaway in the same sentence again. Jamal couldn't hold Penny's jockstrap. Murray isn't even a top 5 point guard in his own conference.
So why Jokic can't win without him? If Murray don't play well, why can't Jokic ever win? For Jokic to win, and check this out, Doug, they always look at Murray to close the games. That's what Jokic do. In the fourth quarter, Jokic don't want it. He always looking for Murray to close it.
But my thing, though, Ticket, is like this. Like, a team in basketball is like a car. There's so many parts that need each other, and even a small part in that vehicle means a lot. The bolts on your wheels means a lot to hold them wheels together, right? So, like, if we sit here like, okay, yeah, they're not going to win without Murray. I mean, that's true, but at the end of the day, that's every single team. Every single team is not going to win without their second or third best guy.
That's not true. Hold on. I've seen Allen Iverson take his team to the finals without a second great player. And guess what? They didn't give AI no excuses. They say
all right, but watch this. If Dikembe wasn't there, they don't make it.
Hold on, I'm gonna say this to you.
If Dikembe's not there, they don't make it.
I'm talking about score. Listen, I'm talking about scores, and they probably would have still win anyways. Hold on. At the same time, Chilltown knows this. Theo Ratliff was playing, if not at a higher level defensively, before he got hurt that season.
If the defensive player of the year is not there, they're not making it.
Bro, Theo Ratliff would have probably won defensive player of the year that year if he didn't get hurt, bro.
Come on, Ticket.
I'm not lying, bro.
They were barely making it through there. They was having some game sevens on that run. If one of those players isn't there, they're not making it, Ticket.
Bro,
they're not.
AI was the main force.
To be honest with you, though, Dub, I was surprised that they traded Theo Ratliff that year. But he got hurt. That's why they traded him. Right. If he didn't get hurt, they don't trade him.
Right, and look at his defensive production. It was better than Matumbo's up until he got hurt. Those are facts. So, but then let's talk about this. We don't do that for Kobe and Shaq. How many series Chilltown Kobe and Shaq won where they were the only two guys in double figures the whole series? We didn't cry about Derek Fisher not hitting shots some series. We didn't cry about all the other role players that was averaging 6 and 7 points. They won multiple series. They beat the Spurs. They beat the what you call it?
Kings, Sacramento.
Blazers, yeah, they beat Sacramento.
Blazers,
just Kobe and Shaq. Nobody else averaged 10. So I don't want to hear these excuses about, the role players didn't do this, the role players didn't do that. When you're Jokic and you're a 3-time MVP, this is why I told Chilltown, I don't put him at the levels that Mars and all them dudes.
It's a different time, though. I feel like we live in a different era. And because we live in a different era, it's a faster-paced game. Guys score more. So we do hold these other guys in a higher regard in terms of scoring, off the strength that that's the era we live in. Back then, the game was a lot slower. Not only was the game a lot slower, guys like Kobe and Shaq, those guys were the guys who we ran the offense through. Guys like Bryant Shaw, guys like Robert Horry, guys like Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, those guys made shots when it was necessary. But for the most part, those games were 95-90.
But here's
those games weren't.
That's what you're seeing right now.
100.
Now here's the ether to that. That's what the scores are right now in the playoffs. He ether, Doug.
That is the score. What it was like 98. What was the last score for that game 7? That is crazy. That is crazy.
I think well, wait a minute.
98 to 90.
Okay, and since you brought that up, Doug, just so we clear, there's only I think this is the 5th time that they held Denver under 100. No other teams was doing that like that, except them. Mm-hmm. Nobody else was doing that. It's not like
defense.
That's just not true.
Let me ask you this last question. Not true. Do you compare their defense? You think they had an all-time great defense this year?
Who, the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah, that's the question I want to ask you and Mars. Do y'all think the T-Wolves this season, Mars, with the T-Wolves team, do you think that's an all-time great defense that you can stack against those Pistons teams with Ben Wallace, the Spurs teams with Tim Duncan, and those other all-time great defensive teams?
Well, the first thing you got to do is we got to see them win first. We can't put them in the same category with them dudes unless they win. That's the only way we could do it. We can't talk about them dudes like that unless they win. No,
we can. Well, we can talk about how good the defense is.
We can talk about how good. Sure, we can do that, Ox. I won't argue
that defense is approaching.
We can talk about how good of it, but we can't compare. We can't compare them. We can't compare them to the 04 Pistons, the 89 Pistons, the 91 Bulls. We can't compare those to those all-time great defenses unless they win.
So the T-Wolves, Dubs, did you told that lot of
I said they have the potential, yes.
No, are they doing the Kobe and Shaq what the Pistons did?
Are they doing no, like I said, like the Pistons right there, sure, but Kobe was being terrible in that series as well. But like,
was that defense or was he being terrible? I think
that was more of Kobe just being a dickhead, if I'm just gonna be honest, like there, right? But that's one. Two, like I said before. I don't think Rudy, Cat, and Nas is gonna do anything to fucking Shaq. Like I really think he's just gonna obliterate them. So sure, you want to say the Pistons and everything, cool.
What about King?
If you want to say,
wait a minute.
If you want to say the Spurs, cool. But just because that's two teams, they're still like one of the best defenses.
I said, what about King? What about Hakeem?
Well, his defense or
Rudy and them doing something to Hakeem?
No, I think Hakeem's body.
Are they doing something to Kareem?
You don't want my answer, bro.
I'm asking you. Are they
you don't want my answer?
Hold on. You think Rudy Gobert's knocking up Kareem?
We can just move on. I'm not doing this. I don't feel like doing this today. Y'all, you don't want my answer for that. I promise you don't. Like
we can move on before I
do too.
You know what? No.
Are they doing that to Jamal? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's
what I'm sorry.
We've heard that
y'all ain't got no respect on people.
But y'all know how I feel about Kareem. So like,
say that Kareem can't get that hook off against Rudy Gobert. Like
I have said that before. Yeah. Like
what you say, Bob?
Nuts.
Hold on, Tiki, because you know how I feel about Kareem. That's my goal. I said we've heard Dub say over 18 months ago that he doesn't feel like Kareem could get that sky hook off against
which is nuts. That is nuts to me.
And there was somebody else who said too. It was Rudy Gobert and somebody else. I can't remember.
Mars.
I forget who it was.
I gotta ask you though, relative to era, where does this Minnesota Timberwolves defense stack up? Just from what you've seen in the playoffs.
Statistically, it's the 20th best defense of the last 44 years. Statistically.
20th.
Yeah.
Terrible. Not terrible, but
that's an all-time great defense, chill.
It's behind the 04 Spurs, the 08 Celtics, the mid-90s Knicks, 93 and 94, the 2020 Bucks, the 04 Pistons, the 2016 Spurs, the 2014 Pacers, the 05 Spurs, the 99 Spurs, the 2011 Bulls, 2011 Celtics, 07 Bulls, 06 Spurs, 07 Spurs, 09 Magic, 2012 Boston Celtics, the 1989 Utah Jazz, the 2012 Bulls. Wow. Those are the teams that's statistically behind based on the regular season. In the postseason, I don't know where it would rank. I'd have to check. But yeah. It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.